Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Hard Count podcast. And today, like always, on Wednesdays, me and Into Sports give you guys our picks for Week 8 of the NFL season. Let's get into it with our Thursday night game, and that is the Falcons at the Panthers. I'm taking the Panthers here 27-24 in a relatively close game, and you'd think it would be a ridiculously high-scoring game. I mean, Panthers offense, Falcons offense, two of the highest powered offenses in the NFL. Very, very good offenses. Not the best defenses, but the last time we saw them play, it was not that way. The Panthers got the best of the Falcons 23-16. So it was a very low-scoring game, but I think the Panthers in a high-scoring, low-scoring game are going to get the best of the Falcons again. I like their defense a little bit more. I think the Panthers have more to play for the rest of the year. The Falcons, it's May Day for them. Their season is over. So I really think that the Falcons are going to come out a little bit sluggish, Panthers a little bit more motivated. Again, I think that it's going to be a good game. I've liked what I've seen from Teddy Bridgewater this year. I think the Panthers have some underrated weapons. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, another Adam Gase success story for that offense. The defense, I think, is a little more put together. But yeah, I think that the Panthers come out, have a better game than the Falcons, and win 27-24.
I got a very similar score here, 27-23 Panthers.
Okay.
I think the Falcons season is in the dump. They know it. They've won one game. They blew it last week against the Lions.
Yep.
Todd Gurley doesn't know how to stop himself from going into the end zone. And I get the home team on a Thursday night game, which is always beneficial. Road teams typically struggle on Thursday nights. And I think Bridgewater is going to torch this Falcons defense because, frankly, who hasn't torched this Falcons defense? And I don't care at all whether it's Christian McCaffrey, Mike Davis as the lead back, whether it's a split. Frankly, that does not matter. I like the Panthers to win by 4, Bridgewater to keep up a nice hot streak.
Okay, yeah, we're pretty similar on that game. So next, we've got in-division AFC East matchup, Patriots at the Bills. Evan, you want to give us your pick for that one?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. We got a quarterback battle of Cam Newton and Josh Allen. These are two guys I compared to each other in the offseason. But right now, I think Josh Allen is the clear better quarterback. You know, with Cam Newton, I worry about just simple mechanical issues. When I'm studying in the offseason, I like the way that his throwing motion improved early in the season and even last year from a few years ago. It was more smooth, more fluid. Looks like, to me, he's gone back to that choppy throwing motion. And also, just simple things like not being aligned with your receiver, his feet not really facing the right way that often. So I'm worried about Cam Newton. They've really struggled the last few weeks. And we got a nice matchup on the perimeter here. Stephon Diggs versus Stephon Gilmore. The battle of the Stephons. I think that's a very good matchup. Top corner versus top 5 caliber receiver. And I think this is an interesting matchup because Buffalo struggles to run the ball with Singletary and Moss. But the Patriots, they don't have a very good front four. So they will kind of let you run the ball. Not intentionally, but because their unit is so bad, they got run on all over last week at San Francisco. Which team is going to win that matchup, I think, could really influence who's going to win the game. And I'm just so confused because New England has lost 3 straight. And they're desperate, but they've been desperate the last few weeks. So they just might not have it in them. I'll take the Bills 23-20 to win by a field goal.
Okay, well, we were 1 point off last time. We're 1 point off here. I'm 24 Bills, Patriots 20. Exactly like you said, should be an interesting matchup, that run game versus the Patriots front seven, which is not the best. We do know that Bills love passing the ball. They're have the highest pass rate in neutral game scripts all year. Josh Allen has played great, and Cam Newton, as you said, has not. He has not been very good those first few weeks against Seattle and against the Raiders and games like that. He was playing great, making a ton of big plays, looking like Cam Newton of old, but even better in terms of throwing the ball. So I was loving what we were seeing from the Patriots, but as in my power rankings yesterday, I dropped the Patriots down 10 spots because that offense is just not working at the moment. And yes, the Bills' defense is not good, but I still don't have faith in this Patriots offense because you just got a combination of a quarterback that, as you said, has some mechanical issues, has not been very accurate, not getting things done like he needs to, combined with some weapons that can't get open. They're just not the weapons that Cam Newton needs to succeed. So the offense is not what I'm loving, and as you said, definitely a fun matchup with the Stephon Gilmore, Stephon Diggs. I like the Bills here. I think it's just a better team. I mean, we know these AFC East matchups are always close, but give me the Bills 24-20 in a relatively close game over the Patriots. All right, next we've got the Titans at the Bengals, and I'm going to be giving you my pick first here. I'm getting the Titans 33 at the Bengals 27. I expect a pretty high scoring game here. We know the Titans offense is the strength of their team. The defense is the weakness. Same thing with the Bengals. We saw that last week. And so I got a pretty high scoring game here. 60 points being put up. This Titans offense, we know Ryan Tannehill has been playing very, very well through the course of the season. A.J. Brown is a stud wide receiver. Derrick Henry always going to get the ball moving on the ground. I think they're just going to tear up this Bengals defense. And I just don't think that Joe Burrow and his Bengals are going to be able to keep up whatsoever. So, I have it by 6 here. The line is -6 for the Titans. We look at Joe Burrow and his Bengals. They're going to be solid. I love what I've seen from Joe Burrow. It's just the offensive line has not been impressive. I think that we could see him get under pressure a little bit, and that could have him struggle. I just think that I like this Titans offense more than I like this Bengals offense, and I think the Titans are a better coach team as well. So, I think it's going to be a very fun game. A lot of points put up on the board, but it's hard to go against this Titans team who looked, they didn't look great against the Steelers, but I think they would beat most teams in the NFL. I've got them at the 7th best team. Bengals all the way down at 25. Should be a very fun matchup. I got the Titans winning 33-27. Evan, what about you?
Yeah, you mentioned it. Two bad defenses here. And specifically, we look at passing defenses.
Yep.
Tennessee, 26th best. Cincinnati, 25th best. So which team is going to be able to exploit the other's secondary? Now, I think Tennessee is just going to dominate this game in all phases because Derrick Henry is just going to run all over this Cincinnati Bengals front who just traded defensive lineman Carlos Dunlap about 3 minutes ago. So this is live. And there's some disgruntled Bengals in that locker room. I don't think this is going to be enough. High-scoring game. Burrow's played pretty well, but I still like Ryan Tannehill more than Burrow. This play-action game with Henry throwing it to A.J. Brown. The Titans are just going to put up a lot of points here. 30-24.
Okay. Very interesting. We got pretty similar scores there. Once again, we've had no disagreements. Maybe we'll have a disagreement on this one. It's a game that a lot of people are split on. The Raiders at the Browns. You want to give us your pick for this one, Evan?
Well, this is an example of the hard count curse. Because last week you made a video saying the Browns should bench Baker Mayfield. And then the week after, he plays arguably the best game of his career. Now, I don't think losing Odell to the ACL tear, I don't think it's going to severely hinder this team. I think it will allow Baker to get through more progressions. He won't have to look at Odell for a second and a half and then go to his next read. So in that way, I think we're going to get more rookie Baker Mayfield. And that could be exciting. We'll see if he's able to do it. Not really sure. But if he's going to be able to go through his progressions a lot quicker, that could help him out. And I think this Cleveland offense can run the ball on Vegas. They'll be running all day with Kareem Hunt. Vegas can't stop anyone, frankly, through the run game or through the pass game. I like this Vegas offense, but not the Raiders defense. And when Cleveland wins games, they typically dominate. I think we see kind of that this week with the Browns winning 30-23, really controlling this game.
Okay, so we got our first disagreement here. I'm going with the Raiders 30 against the Browns 28. Very high scoring game. And as you said, I think two bad defenses, two good offenses here. Should be a lot of fun. I could see this game going either way. And as you said, Odell leaving kind of gives an interesting dynamic to this game. What are we going to see with Baker Mayfield? I still think it isn't a good thing for this offense to lose Odell, who's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL talent-wise. He just hasn't had the production in the last couple of years. But I like the Raiders team. They're coming off a week where they were kind of humiliated against the Buccaneers. I like Gruden a lot to come out here. I think to me, it's a very, very close game. I just like the Raiders to make that extra play. I like Derek Carr more than I like Baker Mayfield. And as you said, when the Browns win games, they tend to dominate. I don't see them dominating the Raiders in the same fashion they could dominate such a team as the Bengals or another team like that. So I think it's a very high-scoring game. I could see it going either way, but I like Derek Carr more than I like Baker Mayfield. We'll see how the loss of Odell hurts this Browns offense, obviously, but I like the Raiders to win here 30-28. All right, next we've got the Colts at the Lions. And this is my upset of the week. I'm taking the Lions 26-23 over the Colts. And I told you guys this yesterday on my power rankings that the Lions are going to make the playoffs. And it starts here against the Colts. This Lions offense had shown me some great things in the past couple weeks. Matthew Stafford finally returning to his elite self, the guy that I had ranked as the 6th best quarterback in the NFL going into the year. He was showing me all of that last week. So I've loved what I've seen from this Lions offense. Hopefully they can keep it up against a good Colts defense. Yes, they're off a bye, but this Lions defense is getting things together. This Lions offense is getting things together. They've got a lot to play for. And this is a game that's very pivotal. Every game that I think I've seen as a big game for the Lions, they came through and won. And I have a lot of trust in Matthew Stafford. I'm getting more trust in this defense. And I don't have a lot of trust in Phillip Rivers in that offense at all. And I don't think that they'll be able to keep up with Matthew Stafford and that offense. So, definitely a good defense for the Colts. But I've loved what I've seen from the Lions in the past couple weeks. I'm taking this as my upset of the week. 26-23. Give me the Lions. Evan, what do you have for this game?
Yeah, I knew that was going to be your upset of the week. It's not my upset of the week. I like the Colts to squeeze by just a point, okay. 24-23. So I see what you're saying, but I just can't play Frank Reich off a bye versus Patricia. You're taking Patricia? I'll take Frank Reich. That's easy call for me. Now, I know it's not a home game for Indianapolis, but Rivers is in a dome. I think that helps out a lot. Rivers struggling outside. You think about a Cleveland game, but when he played Cincinnati, much better indoors, lacking that arm strength to throw the ball down the field. Being in a dome definitely helps. And Detroit was very lucky to win that game last week. They won't get that same luck this week, and they'll lose a very tight game, even though Matt Stafford is very good. And I don't know if they can cover Kenny Golladay. I think Rivers will play well enough against a bad Lions secondary, and they'll win this game by a point.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you say I'm taking Patricia over Frank Reich. It's more about taking Matthew Stafford over Phillip Rivers for this game. But yeah, I get what you're saying there. I think it should be a good game. A lot to tell about both these teams. And so next, we've got the Vikings at the Packers. Evan, what do you think about this game?
Well, whenever I can pick the greatest quarterback of all time, I'm going to do it. So I'll take the Packers to win 30-20 here. We saw the way he sliced up Minnesota week 1. That was arguably the best game I've seen out of a quarterback in years. That was phenomenal in every way. Devontae Adams had a monster game in week 1. He had a monster game last week. I expect him to have a monster game this week against a terrible Vikings secondary. And Minnesota, they're in fire sale mode. They're selling all their pieces. Yannick Ngakoue, get out of here. We're tanking. We have no chance of making the playoffs. They all know it. Their season's over. Green Bay by 10, 30-20.
Okay, well, I've got Green Bay by 10 as well, 31-21. Definitely exactly as you said. My hesitancy for this Packers team, why I don't think they're one of top 3 team in the league like I did a couple weeks ago, was because I don't know how they're going to perform against good teams. I have absolutely no concerns against the worst teams of the NFL, like the Vikings, who, as you said, their hope is over. Their season is over. They're not making the playoffs. And this, Aaron Rodgers is phenomenal. As you said, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, if not the greatest of all time. So I love this Packers offense against this Vikings defense. And as I said last week, one of my things that I was harping on was Davante Adams against not an elite number one guy who can play press man coverage. The Vikings don't have that. So we saw Davante Adams tear it up last week. As I said, that was a major point. And then week 1, he tore it up against this Vikings defense. So I expect it again to happen. It's got a 30-35 fantasy point game written all over it for Davante Adams. I think it's an offensive explosion for the Packers. The Vikings can't keep up. So I've got the Packers winning here 31-21. All right. Next, we've got the Jets at the Chiefs. And yeah. All right. Next, we've got the Rams at the Dolphins. And I'm taking the Rams to win here 24-23. I think it's a close game. I'm very excited to see Tua get his first NFL start in this game. That's definitely what I'm most looking forward to. It's a rough matchup, though, because we get to see Aaron Donald take every shot he can at Tua in his first rookie game. Aaron Donald, to me, is the best player in the NFL, and he's going to be all over Tua all game. And one of my things that I was talking about with Tua entering the game for the Dolphins, or entering, being the starting quarterback, is that he's not going to be able to avoid some of those extra hits that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to avoid because of his experience in the pocket. He knows how to get the ball out quicker. So I think Tua's going to get hit quite a bit in this game. It's going to be a welcome to the NFL moment for him. But Tua was so good in college. I expect him to get into a rhythm as the game goes on. But I like the Rams defense more. They've shown that they're capable against any offense in the NFL. And this Rams offense is perfectly capable. I don't think the Dolphins defense isn't enough to really slow it down to a point where they lose this game. We know Jared Goff has been good this year. Sean McVay is always one of the best coaches in the NFL. And so I don't see the Dolphins winning, but I think they keep it close here, 24-23, and a solid game from Tua in his first ever NFL start. Evan, what about you?
Yeah, this game is all about Tua, the young rookie quarterback. So much hype, so much expectations. Now, I expect a similar level of play to Ryan Fitzpatrick, but week 1, game 1, I don't think it will be as good as what we're seeing from Fitzpatrick. But I look at this Miami defense, anchored by head coach Brian Flores. Great defensive mind. He's off a bye. And Sean McVay is great, but it's basically the same thing every week with this offense. I think Miami's defense is sneaky good. So this is my version of Spencer's upset of the week.
Okay.
I'll take the Dolphins 23-21. I don't have much faith in the Rams and Jared Goff.
Wow. Okay. So we both have our upsets of the week there. Me, Lions over Colts. You, Dolphins over Rams. Definitely very interesting there. I can see what you're saying. Love Brian Flores, the culture he creates there for Miami, and that defense is a little bit slept on. So I like that a lot. So yeah, next we've got the biggest game of the week. It is Steelers at Ravens, AFC North battle. This is definitely the biggest game of the week. Evan, what do you have to say about this one?
Well, last year I would have gone Steelers. I would have been loving to take the Steelers. Full Grinch mode activated. And now I think Baltimore this year won't be able to push Pittsburgh around. And last year versus the Steelers, he played him once. Lamar Jackson had 3 interceptions.
Yep.
Did Mike Tomlin figure him out a little bit? Maybe. Is that Pittsburgh defense good? Very good? Yeah, absolutely. But ultimately, Pittsburgh just played a physical game versus Tennessee. Baltimore was chilling, relaxing, at home, game planning. They're at home this week. And I think Big Ben might throw a costly interception down the stretch. So I like the Ravens 24-21.
Okay, well, I've got the same exact score for this one. I'm taking the Ravens 24-21. As you said, I went back and forth on this game because Lamar Jackson's worst game last year was in the one game he played against the Steelers defense. Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the NFL. As he said, may have figured him out a little bit. Hard to figure out Lamar Jackson. He's shown time again he can deliver. But the Ravens, I like them off a bye. I love taking John Harbaugh off a bye. They had some easy weeks to come before that. They've been really looking forward to this game. This is their big game. And the Steelers just had the Titans last week. As you said, that's a very physical matchup. That's going to be hard. They were looking forward to that game. Now they got the Ravens on the schedule 1 week later. And, I think Lamar Jackson is going to make that extra play. Ben Roethlisberger, Lamar Jackson is going to make that extra play. The defense is going to make that extra play that I think gets them the win in this game because, the Ravens, we know big play defense. And so I like the Ravens to win here by 3 in a very, very physical, very good game. All right. Next, we've got the Chargers at the Broncos, and I'm taking the Chargers 27-20 here. And, I don't think there's too much to say here. I mean, Justin Herbert is great. He's played great all this year. I know you love him, Evan. He's a big-time throw guy. He's going to put up points every single week. And Drew Lock isn't that. He's a guy that has a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent there for him. He just isn't making the most of it right now. He's not hitting the throws he needs to hit. He's making some dumb decisions throughout the course of the game, and I think that's really going to be the difference in this game. I think the Chargers handily win this game against the Broncos 27-20, just because I like Justin Herbert in this offense. Going to make a couple big plays that the Denver team just cannot make at this point. So I like the Chargers to win 27-20. What do you have to say about this game, Ev?
Well, this is a battle of two young, very talented quarterbacks. And in the preseason, I said Drew Lock was probably or had a good chance to be in my top 10 at the end of the year. Actually, the guy in this game that's going to be in my top 10 at the end of the year is Justin Herbert on the other side of the ball. He's been just absolutely ridiculous. This guy's new school Andrew Luck with his size, his athleticism, his arm, throw the ball down the field, big time throws. I expect a few of those again today. And Denver hasn't shown me enough offensively. The defense is fine, but you got to score points if you want to win games. They've been a disappointment in my book. Now, of course, in my book, I had the Broncos in the Super Bowl, but let's just forget about that entirely. And on the other side of the ball, this Chargers defense really isn't as good as I thought it would be coming into the year. They've not been a top 5, top 3 caliber defense. So, but, I mean, if you're a struggling defense, I have a good idea. Play against the Denver offense. That will help you out a little bit. They'll turn the ball over. Chargers will win by 3, 23-20.
Okay, so both got the Broncos scoring 20, just a little bit different but we both agree Justin Herbert is fantastic. But let's move on to your least favorite team here, Evan. The Saints at the Bears. What do you got for this game?
Yeah, this is a tough one. Breeze outside in Chicago, probably going to be cold, potentially rainy. I'll worry about that a little bit. But the thing is, I don't think Foles can exploit this Saints defense down the field. They've been giving up a ton of big plays. But there was downfield shots to be had on Monday night versus the Rams, and Foles just couldn't take advantage whatsoever. So I think that will be a saving factor for New Orleans. I don't know if Michael Thomas is going to play. I don't think him or Emmanuel Sanders is going to play. So it's going to be back to this beat up, banged up, practice squad type receiving core for New Orleans. But I've been just very disappointed with the Bears. I expected a much better performance Monday night. And frankly, Foles isn't any good. They'll score 20 points, but they'll lose 23-20.
Okay, yeah, I agree. It's definitely a game that I think I could see envision being close, but I've got the Saints winning 26-20. As you said, Nick Foles, Mitch Trubisky, it doesn't matter. This Bears offense is limited. It's not good, and it's an issue. They're not going to be able to take advantage, as you said, of those big plays that the Saints tend to allow. Drew Brees was great last week. Very, very good. Looking like Drew Brees that we all wanted to see, the Drew Brees we all know and love, being very, very accurate, hitting every throw he can. Obviously, the deep plays are not going to be there. But he's able to make a lot of great throws underneath, keep the Saints offense moving down the field. Alvin Kamara's out there. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer, as you said, for Michael Thomas. It's going to be exciting to see him back in the Saints offense. I just don't think at the end of the day, Nick Foles is going to be able to keep up with Drew Brees in this offense. And yes, the Bears defense is good, but as we were talking about yesterday, Evan, it's living a little bit on reputation. It's more of a average to maybe slightly above average defense rather than an elite top 10, top 5 type of defense. I like the Saints here. I think that their offense is just going to be able to be better than the Bears. I don't like Mitch Trubisky or Nick Foles, whoever's playing there for the Bears, obviously Nick Foles. But, I like the Saints to win here 26-20. All right, next we've got the 49ers at the Seahawks, probably the second best game of the week. And reason for that is it's an NFC West matchup. It's pretty huge. We just saw the Seahawks come off a big loss to Arizona, or not a big loss, just a loss to Arizona, but it's an in-division loss, never a good thing. Then you got 49ers coming off a huge win against the Patriots. I'm saying the Seahawks get back on track here, 30-27. It's going to be a very good game. We know the Seahawks are just a great game-producing team. Every game is close with them, and the 49ers are no exception. Last year, we saw some great duels between these teams decided by 1 yard. So I like the Seahawks here. I love their offense. As I said last time, they're a big play team, and this 49ers team does play some zone defense that could limit those big plays a little bit, but I have a lot more faith in this Seahawks offense than I do this 49ers offense at the moment, and they're not going to be able to get pressure on Russell Wilson. So I like the Seahawks to win here 30-27 in a very good, close game, and the Seahawks they're going to get back to what we know and love from the Seahawks.
Yeah, I expect another very good game, as you do. Now, I think San Francisco, with their defense, can actually take away some of these big plays downfield to Metcalf and Lockett because they play that cover 3 defense, soft, let you throw it underneath, but take away the big play. Same kind of defense that works against Mahomes, you'd expect to work versus Wilson, but Wilson has that aspect in his game where he can just be surgical, throwing the ball on time, on target, underneath. There's so much familiarity in this game between these two teams. They played a few times last year. Of course, it was a great game. Both of them, overtime and a 1-yard goal line stop. Those were the two games we saw last year. So I'll take the Seahawks 27-23 in a close game that will probably come down to the last play in typical Seahawks fashion. Now, I'm a little bit worried with Seattle about their running back position. What? I thought I'd never say that. But when you get to the point where you're maybe having to start a guy like DJ Dallas instead of Chris Carson, that's where it starts to hurt you. Their running back depth hurt them down the stretch last year. Not sure if Chris Carson will be available. Not sure if Carlos Hyde will be available. And not even sure if Travis Homer will be available. So that's my only worry with Seattle, but I'll take them to win by 4.
Yeah, we both agree. Very good game. Last play of the game type of game. It's going to be decided by that last play. But next, we've got another in-division rivalry matchup. Not quite as good, but Cowboys at Eagles. What do you have to say about this one, Ev?
Yeah, not even just not quite as good, just not good. I'm not sure who's going to be starting at quarterback for Dallas. Either going to be Andy Dalton or Ben DiNucci. Yeah, that's a strugglesville. Now, Dalton, of course, got illegal hitted last week. Linebacker, Washington, hit him in the head, potential concussion. We'll see if he plays. That'll definitely help, because even Andy Dalton is a big upgrade over Ben DiNucci. And this might be one of the most dysfunctional teams I've ever seen with Dallas. The players calling out the coach calling out the players. It's just a complete disaster. Remember, this is a team that people legitimately had in the Super Bowl. Yep. Now we're talking about if they might get the first pick? Wow. I mean, that's just unexplainable. And let's just take a moment to talk about the elite play of Carson Wentz. Extending plays, making plays. He is this offense. And it'll be a lot easier for him to be this offense against this just terrible Dallas defense. Travis Fulgham, potentially Jalen Reagor coming back. You know, the weapons don't have to be good for Carson Wentz. He'll run around, he'll make plays. Sometimes he'll make some bad throws, bad decisions, but you just got to live with it. I'll take the Eagles 27-13, and frankly, that might be a little generous towards Dallas.
Okay, yeah, and as you said, not a good game here. The Dallas offense is terrible. It doesn't matter who's going to start. It kind of gives you an appreciation for Dak Prescott a little bit there. But yeah, the dysfunction in that organization right now is awful. As you said, the coaches and players just not getting along. The coach is not doing a good job. but the defense is terrible. So you got the Cowboys scoring 13. I do as well. I got the Eagles scoring 24, and I probably should bump that up because Carson Wentz, as you said, has been playing very, very well. Not at all. I don't think he's going to struggle at all against this Cowboys defense that has been terrible all year. Just no matter what the offense is, they're going to put up points against this Cowboys defense. And there's a reason for the Eagles to pack it on. I think that, it's a Cowboys team that it's always a division rivalry. And I think the Eagles are going to have no issue with the Cowboys here. I don't think it's going to be close. I've got the Eagles winning 24-13 and not a close game. Eagles stay in control of the NFC East. And yeah. All right, next in our Monday night game, we've got the Buccaneers at the Giants, and another game that I don't think is going to be very good at all. The Buccaneers win here 28-16 by 12. Tom Brady, this offense is looking very, very scary. We don't get to see Antonio Brown quite yet, but it doesn't matter. They're still going to roll over this Giants team that has not a good defense, and their offense is just struggling, to say the least. This Buccaneers team, though, this offense is great. Tom Brady is playing very, very well. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin's not going to play, but doesn't matter. This offense is still great. The offensive line has been playing fantastic, keeping Brady clean all year. And the defense has been very, very good as well. In the secondary, getting pressure on the quarterbacks. I just don't see a world where the Giants win this game. I've got the Buccaneers winning 28-16. What about you, Ev?
I'll take the Buccaneers 30-17, so we're in agreement here. You mentioned it, no Chris Godwin. Now, I expect they're going to probably try to move Mike Evans around a little bit, maybe in the slot, even though he's not a slot receiver, because cornerback James Bradbury of the Giants has been very good. So maybe a sneaky Scotty Miller game, maybe even some Gronk, because he's looked a lot better over the last few weeks. I think Daniel Jones is just going to get pummeled in this game. Tampa Bay's pass rush is nasty, and Daniel Jones has absolutely no sense of any kind of pocket awareness or feel. He's going to fumble multiple times. He's going to get sacked a ton. Tampa Bay and Brady are going to cruise to this game 30-17. They'll be easy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, those were our Week 8 NFL picks. Thanks so much for being on the podcast, Evan.
Yep. See you next week.
Definitely. We'll be back next week. We do these picks every single week. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment, as always. And until next time, peace.